runways to real-world impact. Supermodel and former Miss Slovakia, Miriam Mattova, has graced fashion's biggest magazines. But her real message is about courage and truth. Miriam has been a voice for Israel ever since the October 7th Hamas attacks, using her platform to spread support for the Jewish state. But losing followers along the way, even being dropped by one of her PR agencies for being, quote, too political. But that has not stopped this star from speaking out against antisemitism, which she now continues to do right here during her visit to Israel. I'm happy to join on this show Miriam Mattova, international model and Miss Slovakia 2012. Miriam, thank you so much for being with us on i24 News today.
Thank you so much for having me.
I want to begin with your visit to Israel. You've only been here for 3 days, and it sounds like it's been quite a whirlwind trip so far. What have you been up to, and what do you hope that you get to share from this trip?
So I'm working with a charity called Israel Friends, which is very dear to my heart. And they invited me here on a mission trip to actually see the work we're doing. So we're raising a lot of funds for charity, especially the PTSD. Even though the war is kind of over, there's a ceasefire, but I think the work is just beginning because a lot of these soldiers have a lot of trauma, their families, friends, and I think it's very important to address this. And a lot of people are not speaking about it. And not only that, but also the soldiers are missing gear. So they're missing a lot of drones. It's very expensive. It's about $8,000 per drone. And they really need them. And the bureaucracy is taking so long that they need them right away, and we are the ones that are supporting them and giving them what they need.
You've been so vocal about speaking up for Israel over the past 2 years. For you actually being here, is it changing your perspective at all, being able to speak to some of these soldiers firsthand?
Yes. I saw everything online like everybody has, but being here in person has impacted me deeply. I've been honestly very emotional from day one since I got here, like probably everybody, and it's my first time in Israel. And I said, when I'll come here, I want it to be very special, and I think it is, and it's impacted me, and I think it will leave a mark on me like every Jewish person.
What made you change your platform? You've been vocal, you've been in the headlines, you've been in the spotlight for years, even since 2012 when you became Miss Slovakia, but what was the true turning point when you started using this following to speak up for Israel and the Jewish people?
So, of course, it happened all after October 7th right away. When I woke up in Canada, we're 6 hours behind Israel, and I saw everything right away on the news, and I was crying, and I was thinking what to do and how I can help, how we can help from so far. And the only thing we can do is write a status, post something on Instagram. That's all we can do, but I think it could impact many people. And I said to myself, even if I would impact one person or change somebody's mind, then I think that is amazing.
What has been some of the feedback that you've received?
Of course, there's a lot of positive feedback, but there's also a lot of negative feedback, unfortunately. And it's not easy to deal with, and I'm very happy that I have the support of my family and friends, because sometimes it's very hard, like for everybody. The anti-Semitism is very strong, especially in Canada. Unfortunately, I found out news that Canada is raising the Palestinian flag next week on Friday at City Hall, which is very disappointing. And I will probably have to rethink if I'm going to stay in Canada or if I'm going to move somewhere else, because this is something that I do not stand for.
So how has these past 2 years, you hinting at it, being so vocal for Israel, living in Canada, here on i24 News, we continue to report on the very alarming and concerning rise in anti-Semitism in Canada. Are you truly thinking about moving here to Israel?
I spoke about it to my mom actually yesterday, that we should maybe start looking into real estate here because the situation is very unstable, not only in Canada, but also New York. And New York is 50 minutes by air from Toronto, so it's very close, and I don't know what can happen. It's a big question mark, and it's not going the good direction. That's all I can say to this topic for now.
Miriam, what would your grandmother say about this? You often speak about her. She's a Holocaust survivor herself. What would she be saying about the advocacy that you're doing right here in Israel?
So she always told me one thing, because I asked her, like, how did the Holocaust happen? How did the people let that happen? And she told me one thing: the people were silent. People were not speaking up, and this made me speak up, because I'm like, I do not want this to ever happen again. She lost everybody except her mother. They were the last transport that were splitting people up, like women and men separately. So that's the last time she saw her father. He never came back. And of course, the rest of our family, because everybody asked me, like, why is there only 2,000 Jewish people in Slovakia? And I'm like, yeah, because most of them got deported.
By being this voice, then, do you think that more people are going to be learning what's truly happening here in Israel, because I think you've been such a vocal advocate for what we've been seeing here over the past 2 years, but coming here and seeing it firsthand, what is the main message that you hope to take away that you can then share with your followers as well?
As I said, even if I impact one person, that's my goal, to impact people, because it's very hard to change people's minds. But if they see what's happening here, maybe they won't change their minds, but maybe they will look into it or maybe read about it more. Like, I'm trying to post a lot of links, for example. So maybe if they get more information about the topic, that is my goal.
Miriam, Mattova, thank you so much for being here in Israel and continuing to advocate for the state. And we're going to follow up on your trip here as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.